Our tastes in film may seem destructive, but this is a productive dialogue. Damn it, your mother ate my dog.
Okay, well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast. 24, maybe?
That sounds right.
Or is it 20? Because you would have been one. Oh, but this is my movie, so 24 makes sense.
Yes.
So 24.
I'm Jesse. He's Josh.
Thank you for that. So we obviously everybody's probably wondering, hey, where were you guys? It's been a few weeks since we recorded. Thank you for asking. And that kind of goes into our first segment, which is what the heck happened. Another fan favorite segment of ours. Whenever we take a week break. So Jesse, I just want to ask you, what the heck happened?
Oh, well, all sorts of stuff happened. I've been doing lots of paddling. It's been a beautiful couple of past weeks, getting out on the water, doing some training. I've been watching a movie for the podcast. That took a whole day.
2 hours and 20 minutes?
Yeah, whole 2 hours and 20 minutes. I finished Game of Thrones. Did I mention that last time? I couldn't have.
No, you were on like season 6 last time.
Yes. I have now finished. And, you hear with Game of Thrones that everyone hated the last season and it ruined the entire thing. I mean, it was the weakest season, but it didn't ruin it. I mean, I would have liked it to end differently. But at the same time, I was thinking about that and how my experiences is probably different because I got to binge everything and I didn't have to wait for every episode to come out. But I can see how if you had to wait every week for an episode to come out, you get all this build up and anticipation, and then maybe the letdown to be amplified.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I would assume that expectation levels were at an all-time high, and it did not deliver. So their expectation score for the last season of Game of Thrones would not have met expectations.
Right.
So maybe that's why.
Yeah, so I've been just thinking about that, and yeah, that's how the main things has been going on.
So are you saying that you ditched us, your followers, for paddling?
No, it wasn't paddling. I just had something else come up. An unmentionable thing.
Wow. Yeah, no, nothing new for me. We've been watching. We just started a new show called The Bear.
I've heard good
FX.
things about that.
I would recommend it. It's a lot. It's it doesn't really follow a standard
format.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Exactly. And there's another show we're watching called The Umbrella Academy. The newest season came out at The Umbrella Academy, and we're getting through that.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because my girlfriend and I kept up with that show, the first 2 seasons, which were pretty good. Then the 3rd season, we started watching that last week, and I watched the first episode, and I kind of hated it. And so now my girlfriend is just watching it on her own. I'm not interested.
That said, you should have kept going with it because you owe it that much. You've watched the first 2 seasons. You just got to get through this 3rd season.
I don't know, but
slow burn, but I'm sure it gets better. I don't know. I've only watched the first 6 episodes. It's good.
I don't know. By the end of the 2nd season, I felt the storytelling and the writing wasn't great. And then the first episode of this season, it was, I don't know. I didn't like the writing very much. I was just I'm not really that invested. And I don't really watch TV, so.
Somebody is a critic. That's you.
I know, right? I know. That's me.
Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of what the heck happened.
Yeah, we covered it.
It's almost like we could have somebody could have pulled up the news on their phone or their favorite app and read that what the heck happened in a news story, and they would have
Hmm.
been pretty satisfied with how that came out. Which leads me to the second segment of the podcast, Your Mother Ate My Dog, the good news segment of the week.
Thank
Are you
goodness.
excited for some good
Oh.
news?
I'm bouncing off the walls. Hit me with it.
Last episode we just did two news stories about dogs stuck in vending
That was
machines.
cats. I thought it was cats stuck in
Oh.
vending machines.
Sorry, cats stuck in vending machines. You're right. Which was a theme this week. I have two as well, but they are not connected.
Okay.
One
No
is
theme.
One is pet related. So I'll start with that one though.
Okay.
Title of this one: A true lassie helped a rescue team find his owner who fell 70 feet in Tahoe Forest. A Nevada man may owe his life to the intelligence of his border collie after the real-world lassie led search and rescue to him. The man had fallen 70 feet down a steep slope in the Tahoe Forest, breaking his hip and some ribs. The next day, he managed to crawl his way to a patch of cell service and call for help. Dog saves his owner's life.
I was half expecting you to say he fell 70 feet down a well. That would be like the classic lassie situation, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, no well. The man's name was Saul. Saul was taken to the nearby town of Grass Valley, where he was. Oh, sorry, no, the dog's name is Saul. Oh, was taken to the nearby town of Grass Valley, where he was given a well-deserved dinner while his owner received treatment.
I was about to say, if the guy's name was Saul, I was going to say he was a good man. You know, Saul, good man.
That's a really good joke there.
But it's the dog, so you can't really call the dog a good man, can I?
Yeah. So
that's a weird dog name.
Saul the dog. Yeah.
Anyway,
real weird. But this story
is like Breaking Bad.
Gives everybody hope.
Oh yeah, gives me hope.
The second story is about gardening.
Now you've got my attention.
Gardening can lift your mood even if you've never done it before and have no mental health issues. The story is from July 25th, 2022. There's a deep satisfaction that arises from tending a garden. So deep that it can live in. Okay, we'll just pause for.
Yeah, that's Moose yet again. He's got a problem.
There's a deep satisfaction that arises from tending a garden, so deep that it can enliven even those who don't need to be, and even those who don't know how, a new study shows. It's not every day a study looks at healthy women with no symptoms of anxiety, depression, or mood swings, but if an effect can be observed scientifically, where the margin for improvement is the slimmest, that suggests robust potential for those in whom the margin for improvement is much larger. I don't know what's going on in this article. All I know is that the title, Gardening Can Lift Your Mood Even If You've Never Done It Before and Have No Mental Health Issues. If you have mental health issues, gardening cannot lift your mood. You have to have no mental health issues.
Do you sort of like scan these articles before you choose them, or you just kind of pick them based on the title?
I pick them based on the title, and then I just read the first two paragraphs when we're live, and just let things go organically.
I got excited for that one. I was a little let down.
It's a long article, but we'll just take that for what it is. Gardening
sounds like a good studious read.
Yeah, definitely worth the read. I will not link it in the description. You can just Google it yourself.
Great.
And that was you just Google that. Easy to Google.
How was that one good news?
Because gardening is something that is easy. Yeah, it's easy and affordable. and anybody can really do it. And sometimes it can lift your spirits or whatever the title was. I don't know. I've already exited out of it and forgotten about it.
Okay. You got another segment in your bag of tricks?
I do have a few more segments in my bag of tricks, yes. But this next segment was one I actually wanted to pass on to you.
Oh, good.
The last podcast we did a movie of the week as well as a podcast movie of the week. So instead of doubling down on a movie of the week, I wanted to get your opinion on the band of the week. Kind of throw some music.
Oh, the
in
band
there.
of the week.
Yeah, if you have like a band of the week, that would be very
I
helpful.
could
for
hit
this
you
segment.
with a band of the week.
I know you
Let
like
me
music
see.
and stuff.
I do like music. Let me find you a band that I can sort of tell you all about.
Do you want me to
See,
go to the next segment and then you come back with your band of the week?
No. I'm going to find one right now. The Sugar Cubes. You ever heard of them?
Never.
Well, you've heard of the lead singer, I'm sure. Bjork. You heard of Bjork before?
Sounds Icelandish.
Icelandic? Yes, it does. Well, she is Icelandic. You've heard of Bjork. Anyway,
For Bjorn.
Bjorn.
A
Okay.
baby Bjorn.
Well, Bjork, pretty famous singer, and before she did her solo career, she was in this band, the Sugar Cubes, or like a post punk kind of group, you could call them. Avant garde post punk. That's how I would describe them. Very interesting sound, unlike anything you've ever heard before. Similar to Pure Ubu in a way, I guess you could say, but I doubt you know who Pure Ubu is.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, that's my band of the week. I went on a trip to Iceland in 2019, like right at the end, or like in August, I think, in 2019. And that had nothing to do with me listening to the Sugar Cubes, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. So that's my Icelandic band of the week.
Well, it's a pretty good segment. Pretty good pick. The Sugar Cubes. I for one have a little bit of a sweet tooth, so that's a perfect band name for me.
Well, there you go. You should check them out.
I've already forgotten what they're called. The
Good.
band of the week. Great segment. That leads into your favorite segment. You're always raving about it. It's the follower of the week.
Oh, thank goodness. I know you got a good one for me this week.
I do have a good one for you this week. It was one that I actually looked up before recording the episode. Like 5 minutes before recording. I looked it up. I found a really good one. Our follower of the week this week goes by Isaac Thorne. Handle
Isaac
is
Thorne?
Isaac R. Thorne. Yeah, the horror author Isaac Thorne. This is an organic follow for us. We had absolutely nothing to do with them following us, which is always good. Always good to see. He is part of the Horror Writers Association. He's a member. Also a radio host. He has a shop where he sells pictures. I don't know.
His book?
Is it his book? Yeah, okay. He sells his book. I guess he's a horror author. That would make sense. And just seems like a very active.
Yeah, I'm looking at his Instagram
person.
now. He's like our most recent follower.
He is. He was at the top of the list, which definitely helped the follow of the week. But I figured, you know what, we haven't really done anything in 2 weeks, so anybody who follows us deserves a little mention. Isaac R. Thorne, horror author, is our follower of the week.
Thanks for the follow, Isaac.
Makes me want to go back to the Impala. really quickly for a little follower of the week update. Let's just see what Lisa's up to. Lisa the Impala, if you do not remember, was the car.
Okay.
Gonna have to just search. Oh, I've searched.
I'd love to know.
This is silly. I would love to know. Maybe we should follow them.
Wow. I think that was the best follow of the week we've had so far.
Thank you so much for saying that, Jesse, and I appreciate everything that you do.
I appreciate everything you do.
Wonderful. Do you want to get to the movie? Want to talk about the movie of the week?
I'm happy to talk about the movie. Yes.
Do you remember what movie? It's been so long.
I do remember what movie, thankfully.
I guess you did watch it pretty recently. It's
pretty recently.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Mm-hmm.
2022 movie, still in theaters. Sci-fi adventure movie.
Mm-hmm.
Starring Michelle Yeoh and other people.
She's the main people.
Yeah, how do you like? Because when we were talking about it 2 months ago, whenever we had our last podcast, you were pretty excited about watching this movie. So how did it go for you?
Well, I could understand why people were excited about this movie. It was a lot of fun. And very action-packed, but also a bit of a thinker. It wasn't just, action. It was like action drama, I guess would be how I describe it. But it was intellectual. And so it was sort of a nice combination of those three things. I have really quite enjoyed myself. What about you? What's kind of your first impressions?
It was a really good movie. There was a lot going on. 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. This is a movie which I think you have to see a second time. At least I had to see a second time to fully grasp what was going on. There was a lot.
There was a lot going on. I think I managed to sort of attack it in the right way, and I managed to pretty much get everything that was going on in it. But yes, it was like kind of a lot to handle, I suppose. But I went pretty well for me in that regard.
Good, I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the costume changes. I thought the editing in this movie was one of the best, if not the best editing I've seen in a film.
It was very good. I also thought the sound design was very good. That was something I noted. Like especially in like the fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just felt like the sound was right on. What were you going to say?
I thought the acting was very good.
Mm-hmm. It had a lot of things going for this film.
What would you say? Did you like? Well, is there anything that you didn't like about this movie?
Nothing that I can really think of that's really like standing out. No.
Oh, that's good.
What about
so
you?
then
Is there something?
This is going to be a high scoring movie for you then.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's decently high. Yeah.
Josh's movie pick does it again.
Sure do. One thing I noticed about this movie was that you could really see the influences, like what influenced the directors, like other film franchises. Like made me think of The Matrix a lot, and it made me think of Kill Bill a lot.
Right.
And have you heard of the video game series Saints Row?
Yes.
It reminded me a lot of Saints Row. And the thing it reminded me the most of was Jackie Chan movies. Especially, like when I think of Jackie Chan, I think of his style incorporating like everyday objects. So like he'll pick up any old thing and use it in some creative way in his action sequences. Like in this one when Raymond was using his like fanny pack. that was like the most Jackie Chan inspired thing ever, and it was amazing. It was like at that same caliber. Because when I watched it and I was thinking of the films that Jackie Chan has done, I went back and watched some clips, and there's like a famous one from First Strike where he uses a ladder, and it's like even back then, I think it came out late '80s, early '90s. It's like an amazing sequence. It really holds up well, and it was. I can see inspiration from scenes like that in this film. And you and I have seen some Jackie Chan films together. Do you think? Do you see what I'm seeing?
Who am I? Did you do any reading about this movie at all?
No.
Then you may be interested to know that this movie was written for Jackie Chan.
Oh.
The main character, Michelle Yeoh's Evelyn, was was written for Jackie Chan.
Oh, that makes some sense.
But then I guess they couldn't get him, so they reworked it for a female lead.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy who plays Waymond, he has a striking resemblance to Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I would say so.
Looks a little bit like Jackie Chan. He's an interesting guy. He was in one of the Indiana Jones movies.
Oh, he's the little kid in the worst Indiana Jones movie.
He is a little kid. He's also in the Goonies. Also plays a little kid.
Right.
And he hasn't actually acted in an American movie since 1992. The Pauly Shore thriller Encino Man. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
I know of it.
But he retired from acting because he couldn't find any parts since 2000, like early 2000s. So he was just doing he was like a stunt, not a stunt actor, but like a teacher of stunt.
Oh, okay.
And then they got him back for this one.
That's cool.
And he was, not to ruin it, but he was probably my favorite character.
Oh yeah, he was very versatile. That was part of his character almost, because he was playing two different people in a way.
Yeah,
but he did both ends of that spectrum very well.
Very well. Michelle Yeoh also very good. But yeah, like you said, you didn't even know that this was a Jackie Chan role. But
yeah, I had no idea.
It makes sense that they wrote it for Jackie Chan, so you can kind of see that.
Yeah, and like that sequence with that fanny pack, that's got to be one of my favorite scenes I've seen in a while. That was really cool. And yeah, so indicative of those types of scenes I've seen in Jackie Chan films. And I'm such a big fan of Jackie Chan, so I really enjoyed it.
You're a big fan of Jackie Chan? Police Story.
Oh yeah, Police Story 2. I like both. I like his Chinese films and his American films as well.
Apparently, Michelle Yeoh was in the Jackie Chan movie Super Cop.
Oh, he was in Super Cop. Cool.
1992. No, Jackie Chan was in Super Cop.
Right.
Michelle Yeoh was in Super Cop.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. Sounds a lot like Police Story, but...
Yeah, I've heard of it. I think it came out around the same.
I bet you did hear, because you're a big Jackie Chan fan.
I haven't seen it. I'll be frank about that, but I have heard of it though.
I read, going back to Waymond, there's a line that he says as a child in the bad Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, the Temple of Doom. That is a steaming pile of garbage. I hate that movie. But anyway, go ahead.
He says, he has like a famous line in it that he says again in this movie, but I can't remember what it was. It was like, it's Snap Out of It.
Oh, right.
His character name in Indiana Jones was Short Round.
Mm-hmm. I like the Indiana Jones movies, although they don't short round, although they don't age amazingly in some regards. But like the Last Crusade, yeah, that's a very very good movie. But Temple of Doom, I just can't stand it.
I don't think I've seen a single Indiana Jones movie,
Really,
which shouldn't
that's
surprise
surprising.
anybody. Shouldn't surprise anybody.
Yeah.
I've seen no famous The Godfather, no. Indiana Jones, no. Lord of the Rings, no. Name a movie franchise.
Star Wars.
Yeah, okay, I've seen those.
You've seen all of them, all like 11 films.
I haven't seen like Solo. I haven't seen like the spin-off ones.
I will say Solo is underrated. People kind of poop on that one, but I think it's pretty solid.
Actually, I don't even know if I've seen. I saw the first of the newest sequels with you in theaters.
Oh, right.
Back
Force
in the day.
Awakens.
I don't think I saw the second or the third movie, actually. Just parts of it.
That's okay. You didn't miss much.
I hope Luke Skywalker's okay.
Oh, me too.
The
Who knows? I won't
chapstick,
spoil it for you.
the chapstick Wayman ate was actually a prop
Yeah.
made of chocolate.
Oh. That's a fun fact. It didn't look like chocolate.
No, it looked like chapstick, which is the power
Movie
of
magic.
cinema. Yeah,
That's right.
totally. Okay, well, good. It just sounds like there's nothing you hated about this movie, and this is a movie I watched 2 weeks ago, so I don't remember anything about it that stood out to me as negative.
I will say,
Maybe the ending, but we'll get to that later.
right. Yeah, I'm definitely. I have this problem, I think, and I have a problem of remembering the ends of movies. I have no idea how that movie ended. Like I know that Evelyn and her daughter like hugged at the end. Was that the ending?
Well,
I don't remember.
Joy, the daughter, played by Stephanie Sue, who was
Yeah.
also great. She's
Yeah.
in Miss Maisel. If you've ever watched Miss Maisel,
No.
okay. Well, they're at the car,
Right. Okay, that is the end.
and Joy's like, "Let me go," which has a few different meanings because in different universes, they're together, and the everything bagel. So she has to let Joy go into the everything bagel, as well as in real life in the tax world.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of like spin it to where somehow they don't let each other go, and they hug and everything's fine.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, by the sounds of it, you weren't a big fan of the ending, but I mean, it wasn't that bad.
No, like it
But
wasn't.
of course,
It wasn't that bad. Like but it's probably the worst.
Didn't
thing.
blow you away.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well,
I like seeing James Hong in this. He plays the grandfather.
yeah, he was great.
And that man is 93 years old. Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it. He was in a wheelchair for a lot of it, but that was just the act or the character, because there was also times when he wasn't in the wheelchair and he moved pretty well.
Yeah. No, he's quite lively and animated
Mm-hmm.
for his age.
Yeah, no, wouldn't have guessed 93.
No, certainly not.
Jamie Lee Curtis in this as well. She's 92.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to tell.
92-year-old Jamie Lee Curtis, definitely. She's getting up there.
She was probably the worst, I thought, out of everybody. I probably liked her the least.
Yeah.
But that's just the character.
That's what I was thinking as well. Yeah, that's like the character she has to play. It's not so much her acting, more maybe the writing or the inclusion of that character,
Yeah, I liked the girlfriend. I thought she was underratedly a little funny. She had a few funny moments with
Mhm.
the grandpa.
Yeah, she was subtle, but like it was well done. I agree.
Who else was even in that movie? Not a lot of characters considering a big movie. Oh, okay. Actually, this does bring me up to probably what made the movie for me.
Okay.
You probably had maybe a similar reaction to it. But did you ever watch Glee? Right,
No.
right. It's a TV show. I forgot. Okay, well, the the raccoon on the chef's head
Mm-hmm.
universe, I thought was very,
Mm-hmm.
very funny, very
Yeah.
random. Obviously, a ripoff of Ratatouille, but the fact that they
Mm-hmm.
added that in, I thought was very nice, very, very fun, a hilarious part of the movie, in my
And
opinion.
it brought you Glee, which is why
Yeah.
you brought that up.
Well, no, the actress from Glee, apparently. Um,
Oh.
but it was just so ridiculous. And then Evelyn ends up on the chef's head as they
Yep.
chase down the raccoon. Just so
I
silly.
did like the ridiculous moments. They were good. And like the moments like where they had to do something in their universe that person would never do, and all like the crazy things people would do. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that was a clever ad as well.
Yeah.
This movie was originally conceived in 2010. The idea.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, the multiverse like wasn't really nobody was really doing it.
Right. And then when I hear the multiverse now, I think of like Marvel movies.
Yeah. So like the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. That
Mm-hmm.
when the director
Multi-
saw that, it kind of ruined them. They're like, "Oh, we should give up on the movie because somebody already did it,"
right.
and then Rick and Morty did it as well.
Yeah,
And
and
then
there's a
obviously,
Doctor
like,
Strange, like into
yeah,
the multiverse and all that stuff. Yeah, but I mean, I thought about it, but when I got into it, I didn't think it was like ripping it off or anything like that. It was like the general idea of a multiverse, but it wasn't Marvel movie esque. Didn't remind me of a Marvel movie at all.
no, I thought they did it pretty well.
Yep.
If we were going originality, I don't think the originality score would suffer just because of other movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
When you first sat down to watch this movie,
Mm-hmm.
what did your expectation look like?
I knew that people were saying good things about it, but I honestly didn't know anything about it beyond that.
It's a movie where like you probably don't know many of the actors, so you don't really know what to
Mm-hmm.
expect. So would you say that the movie exceeded your expectations, met your expectations?
I think it probably maybe met my expectations because I heard like really good things, and then I watched it. I was like, yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah,
but it wasn't like,
you saw the Rotten Tomato score, so you kind of knew.
yeah, and I wasn't like, I didn't finish watching it and be like, this is like a masterpiece. Like this is even being understated. It's like way better than what the people are even saying. And I wasn't like, oh, that was a letdown. It's just kind of like, yeah, it was a good movie, and I understand why people are excited about it. It was interesting.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say that it met my expectation because I thought that it was going to be a really good movie, and it was a really good movie. So
Mm-hmm.
good. Okay.
And I like it. I like that the cast was mostly Chinese Americans. Like, and I think we got a bit of a glimpse into that culture to an extent.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more of those kind of movies,
Yeah.
where it's kind of bleeding. Other cultures are bleeding into to mainstream. cinema, which is exciting.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
This isn't the
Because
1980s anymore.
Because I heard a lot of that sort of thing when Crazy Rich Asians came out. Did you see that?
I did not, but
I didn't see
Michelle
it
Yeoh
either.
is in Crazy Rich Asians.
Right. Yeah, because I knew that before this film, and it's actually sort of mentioned in this movie as well, like when she's in the universe where she's herself.
Yeah, that's insane. Meta, I
But
believe I said out loud. Meta.
yeah, but yeah, that was like pretty big in terms of Chinese American cinema. I think people were really raving about it, and I think it maybe sort of things maybe blossomed from there, and it's kind of gaining more traction, which is cool.
Yeah, that success definitely helped.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Kim's Convenience, though, the CBC show.
Mm-hmm.
It brought us Simu Liu, which has 10 rings or whatever.
Right.
So I mean that's pretty big.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was like, if we're going to talk about Marvel movies,
We're not.
Well, I'm going to quickly talk
Okay.
about it.
Good.
Shang-Chi was definitely like one of the better ones, and I'm glad that it was. Having a Chinese American leading role, I really liked that. So yeah, like it's seeing more of it, which is great.
Haven't seen it, but
You haven't seen Shang-Chi? It's like one of the better Marvel movies. In a way, it's not perfect, but a lot of parts of it is cool.
Speaking of Shang-Chi,
Mm-hmm.
Aquafina in that movie, Aquafina is supposed to play Joy, but she couldn't for conflicting schedules or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think was a good choice. I don't know if this would have been a better. This wouldn't have been as good of a role. Joy wouldn't have been as joyful to watch if it was Aquafina versus Stephanie Sue.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because Aquafina. When I think Aquafina, I think more of like I think comedy. And I don't know if that was really a comedic role. I mean, maybe it would have been interesting to see her try a role like that. But yeah, when I think about it, maybe I don't see it working great. But who knows?
Joy wasn't not funny.
Yeah, that's true. But then there was moments with like real drama, like and yeah, I don't know.
You tell us, Cat.
Yeah, I figure my girlfriend had a great idea. We have a moose counter, so every time we hear a moose, my cat Moose, you get a little ding and you add it to the counter.
You're telling me every time we hear a cat, it's Moose?
Almost, yes, almost certainly it's going to be Moose. He's very vocal and he likes to slam his paw against the kitty litter.
Yeah,
he likes to let his presence be known.
We also have one of those.
Right.
If you hear a cat, it's gonna be only one of them.
It's definitely not going to be Gino. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't know. I'm locked in the bedroom with him, and he's just chilling.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a particularly flamboyant cat, if you will. It's kind of just mellow.
Sometimes I'll stare in his eyes, and he'll just yell, and then I'll yell, and it's a thing we do.
I do miss Gino. See him again soon.
Well, with monkeypox coming, probably not. Do you want to jump into scores? I mean,
let's do it. This thing is running. We're running out of time, and we're definitely not on a different day. What?
So you cut out there. Okay, well, we kind of talked about this already, but I'll start with acting.
Okay.
I thought Evelyn was tremendous in the lead role, charismatic, convincing. Even though the role was technically for Jackie Chan, it's pretty big shoes to fill, but Michelle Yeoh did really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll butcher Wayman's actual name, Ki Kwan. He hadn't acted since 2002, back in Hong Kong. Not since America's Favorite Encino Man, 1992, which maybe that should be a movie for the podcast. But he was easily my favorite character. Joy up there as well as the main villain. I thought she did really well.
Yep.
So I gave acting a 9 out of 10.
Well, I share pretty much all the same feelings as you do. And like we said, Jamie Lee Curtis was maybe the weakest part, I suppose. And she wasn't like the most prominent character, but she was definitely in the film. But like we sort of said, maybe it wasn't so much her acting, it was maybe the writing. But yeah, my score is the same as yours. It's a 9.
Wow. Okay. Well, how did you feel about the ending?
The ending sequence, I guess, which is, I would say, when Joy's trying to walk into the Everything Bagel. From then onward, I suppose you would call the ending. Do you think that's about right?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, like I said, maybe, I don't know, not super memorable. But I mean, it was good. It was good, but it didn't stand out a ton. It was a heartfelt moment when Evelyn and Joy were sort of talking near the car. It was dramatic. I could see. I heard some reviews that that got people tearing up. It didn't do that for me quite, but I could see where that's coming from. But that was sort of interspersed through the film. That was one of the great things about it. It had range, So for the ending, just because it wasn't so memorable, I think I'm at a 7.5.
Wow. Yeah, the ending was the low point for me. I think it was fine. Like it wrapped up pretty nicely, but I thought maybe a little predictable. Like you thought
Yeah.
that's what was going to happen, and this movie was like anything but predictable. I had no idea what was supposed to happen or what was even going on at the time.
Right.
But everybody gets along and they seem to live happily ever after. The laundromat is saved.
Right. It's a happy ending.
Yeah. So I gave it a 7 out of 10 for the ending.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
It wasn't terrible. It didn't ruin my experience.
No. Certainly didn't ruin it, but yeah, maybe didn't live up to what the rest of the film offered.
Now, based on all of our scores so far, I don't know which one of us will give it a higher score. So how about you? No, how about I'll go first.
Okay, sure.
First score to 10.
Okay.
And then you can bring us to the end of the movie podcast.
I'd be happy to.
This was one of the more interesting and unique movies I have ever seen, I think. We already talked about the editing, which I thought was great. Acting was terrific. But it is a movie that I would probably have to watch a second time, which is kind of tough because it's a pretty long movie. So you have to, we're two busy guys, so it's hard to find a period of time where we can sit down and watch, let alone talk about this movie. But everything, there were some funny moments. Wayman was the best. Raccoon, just silly. The everything bagel concept was pretty clever. I give it an 8.75 out of 10.
Oh, very specific.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I know that your score is a little higher than mine. Now, yeah, when I was scoring everything, it did feel like maybe I should be giving it a higher score. Excuse that motorcycle. Um, jeez. Okay, it's gone. Yeah, but I'm not sure what it was about this film that maybe is holding back my score a little bit. It's not like I gave it a bad score or anything. Maybe it was the moments with Jamie Lee Curtis and that I just didn't maybe like that part of it. I mean, because when I'm thinking of them possibly losing the laundromat, it just the way that those scenes were done, it didn't feel that sense of urgency that the film was trying to get us to feel. Like, okay, yeah, they might lose it, but lose the laundromat, but it just didn't feel any stakes. But I thought that was an important part of the film. I guess in the grand scheme of like what the characters are trying to achieve, maybe it isn't such a big deal. I don't know. That part sort of fell flat for me, I guess. And I'm sort of dumping that on to Jamie Lee Curtis because that's kind of tied in with her, but maybe it's not just her fault, right? But there was some good acting, especially from Wayman's character and Evelyn, and there was a lot of great performances. I like the grandfather, James Hong. It was all good. So my score is at an 8. It was very good, but that one part of it I didn't like maybe quite as much.
That is respectable.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Yes. It's not like the best movie we've seen. Like some of the movies we've seen, like I want to watch that movie again, like Old Boy and Lars and the Real Girl. Those I'm definitely going to watch again at some point. This movie, I don't see myself actively watching it unless somebody I know wants to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it with them or something. But yeah,
I just remembered the sausage for fingers universe.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
What if I told you that Wayman did most of his own stunts during the fanny pack fight?
That's pretty badass. I mean, like I
mean,
said, that's probably my favorite scene I've seen in a while in a film. So
you can't be that young of a man.
he's 50, I think.
Well,
it's Jackie Chan-esque, Jackie Chan does all his own stunts.
Not anymore, though, because he's so old. Yeah, so The Matrix, there were quite a few references during the movie. Like Neo downloading skills in The Matrix, Evelyn can learn skills by swapping universes.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha Team coordinates Wayman and Evelyn from some central universe with reclining seats. During a fight,
Mm-hmm.
Wayman calls the team via his headset, asking them to find a new exit.
Yep.
Alpha Wayman gives Evelyn 2 options. Once she exits the elevator, she can turn right to go to the janitor's closet, or she can turn left to attend her IRS meeting, much like red pill, blue pill.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like Evelyn stopping bullets midair, being guided through cubicles from a threat by someone over the phone, and then her symbolically refusing to be called by her name.
Right. And yeah, like I guess maybe I should explain that the Saints Row thing. Like I guess they fight with large dildos in that game. There's like lots of crazy costumes that Joy like remind me a ton of the costumes that Joy was wearing. Like it may not have been on their radar when they're making this. It may not have been an inspiration at all, but it sure reminded me of it quite a bit.
Okay. Interesting. I don't think I played that game very much, if at all.
I never played it, but I would watch like, some people I like watching stream, they would play it.
You watch other people play video games?
I do.
I still do that. I'm 31 years old. Okay, so that was what was the movie called? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yep.
2022. Episode 24 of Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast.
Mm-hmm. It's maybe a
Um,
long one.
This, well, you know what? Whatever. The people get what the
They
people
love
get.
us.
We're not even done yet because we still have to hear about the next movie that we're doing
Mm-hmm.
for episode 25, which is 1/4 of 100.
It sure is. I've had a lot of time to think about it.
Well, any hints you're willing to?
I
throw
can give a
down?
hint. I can give a hint. I won't give it away. We were talking about Star Wars. Now, this person has been in, gosh, well, 3 Star Wars movies and a Star Wars franchise. Like, what? Not a franchise, a Star Wars show. And he is like the main character
Right.
in
I mean,
this.
considering, like, I don't know. I don't know what movie it is, but I already know who stars in it just from the history of what you've watched recently.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what movies he's in. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be good. It's a shorter film. And of course, this is all assuming you haven't watched this film. I mean, I know we have a little bit of leniency. Like if you watched it a long time ago, we'll watch it again, sort of thing.
I don't think I've seen a movie with this man in it for quite a while. So I think we're safe.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Should be a
yeah.
good one.
Should be a good one. Very excited for that one. We're at the end of the podcast.
We are.
And I think you know what that means.
I do. But don't ask me to tell you.
It's coffee news trivia time.
Oh, of course it is. I'm ready to go 5 for 5 on this one.
It's a new week, which means it's a new set of 5 questions. They're very Canadian based, with at least 2 questions having to do with the country of Canada. One question having to do with the solar system.
Great.
And yeah, who knows? Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm born ready.
Question 1. In military lingo,
Mm-hmm.
what does the acronym MASH stand for? That's MASH. Military MASH.
Right.
So I would think, I don't know this, so maybe we should work together on this one.
Okay. Well, I've used to watch the show MASH. It has a classic intro song,
Right.
theme song, if you will.
Yeah.
And I know
Helen
that
Alden.
they're like, it's about military doctors.
Okay.
Maybe, and I know there's like helicopters. If I were to guess, I would say military airborne surgical hospital. That would be my guess.
So you're going M with military, not medical.
Medical airborne surgical helicopters.
Okay.
It's something like that. It's something like that.
Question 2. The hottest planet in our solar system. This is multiple choice.
I can already tell you it's Mercury.
Well, that's not a choice. Venus, Jupiter, or Neptune. Hottest planet in our solar system. Venus, Jupiter, or Neptune.
Okay. Well, it's got to be Venus then.
It's Neptune. Which city has the most
No. That can't be right.
Well, I don't know the answer. That's just my guess is Neptune.
Oh. Okay. You're wrong. Anyway, next question.
Which city
it doesn't remain to be seen. I can guarantee you're wrong.
Which city has the most restaurants per capita in Canada? Which city has the most restaurants per capita in Canada?
Okay. So if I were to wager a guess, it's between 2 places. It's between either Vancouver or Toronto. I'm going to say Vancouver.
I think I read somewhere that it's actually Victoria. Victoria has the most restaurants per capita in Canada. So I'm going to go with Victoria.
Okay.
Do you know anything about golf?
Yep.
What is the longest golf club in a golf set? Is it the putter? That's something the putter.
Oh, it's just, oh, yeah, the driver.
Oh, nice. Okay. The provincial flower of Alberta. Do you know what the provincial flower of Alberta is? I think I can see it. A license plate, maybe.
Yeah, it's red.
It is red and like white.
Yep. I think it's just a poppy.
Just a daisy, maybe. It's just
Okay.
one of those red, white daisies.
Okay.
Man, you're happy with those answers?
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we get to the answers, we're just going to take a quick look at the weekly horoscopes.
Good.
Okay, Gemini, try looking for an opportunity to express yourself in a new way. This may allow you to show others your ability to create progress on an issue of great importance to you. Your lucky numbers are 5, 10, 17, 40, 41, and 46.
What about you?
Capricorn, at the beginning of the week, you may find that your mind and emotions are out of sync. Perhaps you can wait a few days before making any significant decisions.
Okay.
My lucky numbers are 1, 21, 26, 37, 38, and 39. This is interesting because this came out on the 25th, which was actually Monday, when we originally recorded the podcast. Perhaps you could wait a few days before making any significant decisions. It's Wednesday. I quit my job. So that was my significant decision, quitting my job. Full-time podcaster.
Yes, and we're making big bucks, that's for sure.
Being kissed by a vampire is a real pain in the neck. Real pain in the neck. Okay, let's get to the answers.
Can we, before we get to the answers, can I tell you about something?
Sure, yep.
It's related to the answers.
Okay.
So, you know what Blue's Clues is, I assume.
You betcha.
Well, there's a song in Blue's Clues that I've remembered that lets me, it makes it so I've remembered what order the planets are coming away from the sun.
Okay.
I'm not going to sing it all to you, but I know that Mercury is the one closest to the sun. And then Venus is the one after that.
Okay.
And I mean, the hottest planet out of those, has to be the one closest to the sun. I mean, the farther away you get from the sun, the colder you are.
Pluto, yeah.
And so I figured Mercury would have to have been the hottest. But maybe it just meant out of the three the three options.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready for the answers.
Okay, so MASH, the M in MASH is not medical or military. It's mobile.
Right.
Mobile Army Surgical Hospital.
Okay.
Mobile Army Surgical Hospital.
I was very close then. I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was very close to that.
We'll give you half a point.
Yes.
Question number 2. Hottest planet, Venus.
Mm-hmm.
Point for you. The restaurants per capita, most restaurants in Canada per capita, Victoria, BC. Josh gets a point.
Okay.
And you said longest golf club was the driver?
Mm-hmm.
And that is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Point for you. I see you're doing real well.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the poppy?
Yeah.
And I said the daisy. Both wrong. It's the wild rose. Wild rose, which makes a lot of sense. Was red, though. Was red, yeah. Not one of those pink roses.
Right.
Wild roses. So, pretty good. I think you got, 3, 2.5 out of...
Yeah. Could have been better.
5. Well, it's hard for you because, I'm reading you the questions. Mm-hmm. So, really, I should be doing better. So, I had the answers in front of me, so I literally could just look at them and cheat. Mm-hmm. But
you know what I think about? We live in Victoria.
Yeah, there are a lot of restaurants here.
You think so?
Well, it's per capita. Do you remember? Per capita.
I know that part. but it doesn't feel like we have that many. But I mean, clearly I'm wrong. I mean, I guess we don't. It might not be necessarily that many, but I guess per capita, it doesn't feel right to me. But I mean, I'm sure that it is.
You go downtown, and there is so many restaurants. They probably are counting like pubs as well. Maybe they're counting Subways.
Maybe
McDonald's.
Could be.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Butter.
Butter who?
Butter late than never. Why couldn't the sailors play cards?
Why?
Because they were standing on the deck.
Right.
Sailors on boats. All right. Well, that is another wonderful episode of Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast. This was quite an interesting one. Our longest yet, I would assume.
Easily.
Pretty safe to say it's our longest episode yet. Recorded over 2 days.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, you're yawning. You're done.
I'm done. I'm tapping out.
Looking forward to whatever movie we watch next episode, which is the long weekend. So hopefully we all find some time to watch this Ewan McGregor movie.
Well, thanks for listening to my voice, Josh, and listeners.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Rough. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.